Today, Sunday, December 4th, 2022. We're going to do a little trail work. We had some high winds and some branches and trees that come down. So we're going to take the pole saw today and clean up things we can. And then the next outing, we're going to take the chainsaws and cut up the bigger stuff. So let's see if we can get this thing started. Alright, let's check, add some oil. And check that gas. And we're going to need some of that too. Alright, hang on. So here's the problem with this still device. On a cold start, which means it hasn't been running for a while, in the summer, it takes like 10-15 pulls. In the winter time, and it's not really even a winter, it's like 40 degrees out here, a cold start, like it's been sitting for a couple of weeks, is like almost impossible. So I put it in the basement to warm it up, and let's see if we can get it started. There we go. Got our hand dolly, our cart. We'll load it up. Gonna put the camera on and get going. Okay, not too far in the trail. We can see that the dead ash tree, the high winds have blown it down. For us to get the cart through, we're gonna have to set this one free here. So we're going to set up the camera and then get the pole saw going. We're going to trim off the top parts first and see how it goes. Take all this brush, and there's a big brush pile in the back here. Let's zoom in. And we're going to add to that brush pile. And then we're going to chip that at a later date. Alright, so I cleaned up the limbs. We bucked it in some bigger pieces, not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. There's some it's be firewood, some for trail maintenance, maybe some for sawmill. So we're going to leave them in bigger pieces for now and put them to the side. I'll collect them later with the log dolly. So this is that tree we just cut. Let's take a look at the bottom. See how it just kind of like the ash trees, after a couple years, they just kind of like shatter. That's where it came from. It's just like they just kind of like shatter and splinter and fall over. Not even splinter, they just kind of like. Okay, that's all cleaned up. We're gonna head down the trail a little farther. Here we have another one just off the trail that snapped right at the base. You see that snapped right there, and now at least it's not like leaning high up in the tree, but it takes a bit more to extricate those as they're leaning on top of a bunch of brush. So project for a different day. Need some chainsaws for that. Yeah, the trail has quite a bit of water on it, but it's not muddy yet. The ground's still pretty firm, which is good. So here we have some down limbs. We're going to cut this one and cut this one up. And there's a brush pile over there. And we'll get that all situated. Further down the trail, let's look at the next conundrum. So, here I'll zoom in. See, that is a tree, an old ash tree, that has completely snapped off its base there, offset a bit, and now it is leaning against a big pine tree. It would have been better if I could have cut it with a chainsaw and felled it towards me on a trail, and then it wouldn't have hung up in those trees. Those are always difficult. Those are some of the dangerous isn't perhaps the right word, but you really have to plan it out, because here's the issue. I'm going to go closer. When you cut a tree, you leave a hinge so you know which way it's going to fall. This is completely open. It can fall left, right, forward, back. It can rotate. It can tip. So you don't know, once you start pulling on it, where it's going, and that's dangerous. So we have to come up with some possibilities of how to do this. One might be, since it is completely free, is to take a peavey and just try to rotate this whole tree and let it roll off of the branches and hopefully fall clear on the trail. It's a big tree, but you know, I've been surprised at what a peavey would do, and I've also been surprised at what a peavey won't do. So that's one possibility. Let's have a look from this angle. One possibility is to put a line and pull it this way and try to pull it, tip it off of the tree. But the problem is that bottom is not fixed. So as soon as that comes off those branches, it can come towards me, it can go that way, it can pull this way, which then will snap that line that I had set. So probably the safest is going to be to put a chain around the base and take a strap with a come along to the tree over here, and we're going to pull that bottom out. But it's soft dirt and it's probably going to dig in. We might have to put some boards down so it can slide on the boards. I'm not quite sure how we're going to get that set up. But so that's going to be yeah, and see up here we have some cross-line branches. Once you start moving things, they can start falling down. So we'll have to plan this one out. We'll consult our book, our field book, on some other possibilities. You know, the other option is to even do a double notch. Do a notch here, and then do a notch here. Pull the center piece. The bottom piece will flip out. The top piece would go in. And then it's just a matter of, is there enough stuff holding it that it will come straight down, or will it ricochet and the top will spring out and come flying at you? Interesting conundrum. All right, let's see what else is on the trail. It looks like we got a pine limb, or even a top of a, I think it might have came off the top of this one up here. Yeah, they came out from there. Anyways, we're gonna cut down some pieces, and then it's gonna go on this brush pile here. And I'm not gonna video it because my battery is getting pretty low. Trail, I pushed this one aside the other day when I was trying to walk. It was definitely across, so we'll have to cut this one. And we have probably a brush pile back there that we're gonna put it on. And then we'll see what else is down the trail. Probably the last one for the day, just because you can tell the sun is starting to set there, and kind of late in the day, blowing sunlight. Battery's kind of low, so here's I think it's the top of that tree there that has fallen. So we're just going to use a pole saw and cut into some manageable pieces. And over back in here, there's a brush pile where we can put it. And eventually we'll use a chipper, make some wood chips and use it on the trail. We clean that up, and it's just a nice close with Sunday evening. Have a nice blue sky with some white puffy clouds. We got the sun going behind the trees here. We got our equipment all packed up. We're going to be heading back to the house. Well, thanks for joining us on the trail. It's a trail maintenance day